Good morning, everyone. This is Kelly Janae with Ethereal Ecology at the lake, bright and early. It's probably 7:30 a.m. I started getting up earlier, like around sunrise, going to bed at 10-ish, and it's completely changed my life, actually. I'll make a video about that. Quick note before we get started: if you decide that what you want to do at night is have a bonfire by the lake and have a few drinks with your friends, clean up after yourselves, especially if you drink Mike's Hard Lemonade, because that's not a good look, and you really should honestly feel sorry for yourself and feel bad about that. But anyways, this is the first installment of my Synchronicity Series, which is the one I'm pretty excited about because it actually is the series that exemplifies Ethereal Ecology as an art form. And Ethereal Ecology is sort of this combination of the ethereal nature of the world, which is the fact that we're all connected, and the ecological part of the world, which is that we are all connected, both in the spiritual and in the physical plane. In the quantum plane, like in space, like through the quantum fields, and then also just on Mother Earth. So with all the human beings that we meet, with all of the occurrences that we come across, with the visions we have, with the feelings that we have, they're all connected. And so by understanding that, and by paying attention, we're able to find meaning in these significant events, especially when they happen in sequence or in synchronicities, which is basically when something happens as if it's a coincidence. That cannot be a coincidence. That's a synchronicity. So today I want to talk about a story. It's actually a relationship story. And I have a couple of those because in the past 2 years I started to have visions and signs from the universe from pretty much every single one of my significant others that I started getting into a relationship with, that are sort of like prophecies that come true. They're like these signs that come up in the beginning to tell me to watch out for something. And recently I've had an interaction with my significant other of about 4 months that I was really getting into a deep relationship with, like feeling a certain way about this person, and then recently had an interaction with them that made me feel like I could not trust them in fidelity, or that they really don't even want to be in a relationship with me, even though they say they do and that they won't. And gut feelings and intuition and all of that is extremely important to pay attention to in these situations, because I have had trouble with, people in the past. I've got about 6.5 years of serious relationship with several different people under my belt, whereas they don't. And so I know what it feels like to be lied to, and I know what it feels like to be hurt through these things, and so I'm trying to protect myself. So by paying attention and by taking action based on what the universe is telling me to do, if I'm unclear, is really, really helpful for me. So when I started to date this person, like as the time went on, I started to see snakes a lot. Not only did I start to see snakes, but he started to see snakes. He started to wear snakes on his shirts, and I started to really see them everywhere. And we also would talk about like the creation story of Adam and Eve. And of course the snake is there, the snake that tells lies. And this was really interesting. And it was one of those things that was sort of like just happening, and I'm keeping an eye out. Okay, what does the snake mean? I'm not really sure. Transformation, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? And I do remember one day I was taking a walk with my friend. Actually, this was the day that I wrote my article, A Slow Transformation. But I was taking a walk with my friend, and I was talking to him about something that I was concerned about with my significant other, and we came across a dead snake. A dead snake that I have preserved and put into this jar. And now that I see that that's actually kind of significant and interesting, that I would come across a dead snake when talking about some concerns. But recently, before all of this happened, where I'm feeling like, my gut's churning and I'm uncertain about how to move forward, my Native American elder, recommended a book for me. So this snake, number one. 2, this book. These are the things leading up to my decision-making process. This book is called The Voice of Knowledge. And she insisted that I read this book. It was my homework. And I always trust my elder. The Voice of Knowledge, it's a Toltec wisdom book by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it is about, first of all, talks about the creation story and how the snake is the teller of lies, like the original liar. And just how basically all of our knowledge is based on lies, and how to find the truth. But the snake in particular, I find very interesting that is in this book, which has become kind of a the model through which I'm moving through these next few weeks is a liar in this book. And that's kind of what it represents. So before I started reading this book, then, the day that my elder told me to read this, we did this card deck. We did a card reading, okay? And so we did this card reading. It was called Shadow Cards. And there was one card in particular that really stood out to me. It was a picture of a snake, and it said avoid. And the first thing that I thought about when I saw that card was him. And now, like, there haven't been any circumstances, any reasons up to this point for me to feel like I should avoid him, except for maybe little things, right? Little things here and there that are like doubts, and you're not sure whether they're... Oh my God. Do you see that? That's a vulture. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Vultures are symbols of death and rebirth. They are symbols of... they're such beautiful symbols. Turkeys are so beautiful. It's a black... Not turkeys. Vultures. It's a vulture. Oh my God, it's so cute. It's a black vulture. And vultures, they eat the carrion. They eat the death. They get rid of the disease of the dead animals that are on the ground. And they utilize it for nutrients, and they also get rid of any of the disease, so they keep other animals safe by holding that niche in the ecosystem. And I just see this as such a beautiful sign that, yeah, like, ending something is really, you're opening up a new door and like allowing it to nourish you in the ending. And wow, I've never had a vulture get that close to me before. But anyways, so avoid the snake, it said, and I was like, oh, okay, I hope that's not about him, but that's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, fast forward, this happens, and I'm left wondering, do I move forward with him? And then this is wild. Okay, so first of all, snake. The snake comes up. Watch out for snakes. 2, find the snake. Find a dead snake while talking about doubts. 3, the voice of knowledge. The snake is the liar in the book. And then 4, avoid the snake. Okay? Number 5 is really weird. I was driving home from Wilmington, North Carolina, and this conversation we had that sparked all this happened the day before I drove home. And on my way home, I'm like crying. I'm letting out emotions because that's really important, and I feel things, and I let myself feel things because I've gone too long in my life not doing that for myself. And I'm thinking about the concept of fidelity. And I park once I get home, and I get a message from apparently my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend of 2 years. And not just any ex-boyfriend, but a extremely psychic vampire boyfriend who basically manipulated me into believing him that he was not a cheater, that he was not a liar, but he ended up being literally a sociopath. Like, he ended up literally being a liar. Like, he lied deeply, and there's actually a story that, I'll tell about that. I love this vulture so much right now. Come here, vulture. But she texts me and she says, hey, I know blank has been having, he said that he's had fidelity issues in the past, and I know that he's talked to you, or that he's talked about you before, but he hasn't talked about why you broke up. And I was wondering if you would tell me, because she obviously is having problems with him, and he's a problem. Like, he's a psychic vampire. He will suck the energy out of you. And so I'm like, wow, this came up right now at this moment. You're asking me to tell you the story about like some really traumatic events about a person who's completely crazy and like took a lot of my life away from me. Yeah, I will tell you everything. And so I called her and I told her the story, which essentially is surrounded around thinking you know somebody, thinking you trust somebody, when in reality they're talking to a million different people behind your back and probably saying the same exact things. And it was really hard. And like, it sort of allowed me to relive this trauma of what happens when you trust, in others and ignore signs. And it's not to say that anything that my current significant other is doing is anything as bad as this, but why wait and see? And then the final thing that was just sort of the nail in the coffin that made me decide, okay, it's probably time to at least stop this relationship in this way, because I don't want to get hurt, because I've been hurt and I'm not doing that again, is the fact that I get home after I'm on this conversation with this girl, and I get home and I'm like, whew, man, it's been a long day, and there's like a cockroach on my washing machine or something. It's like dead, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I should pick this up. And I want to walk over. I just want to hang out with this vulture, and then I have some pieces of paper that are by my front door, and they have little virtue names on them and little like descriptions of the virtue, and I use that to pick up the roach. And the virtue that I picked up was none other than honesty. And it says, I cannot always expect the truth from others, but I can always expect it from myself. Like, all of this, all of these signs, all of this information from the universe, it's showing up for me, like, to protect me. And you can never know what somebody else's story is, which is a huge part of this book of The Voice of Knowledge as well. Is we all live in our own stories where the actions we take are okay to us, and they're unharmful to us, but maybe they're harmful to others. We live in these stories where our entire knowledge base is perception, and in my story, I know what it feels like to be lied to, especially in an intimate sense. I know what it feels like to feel dishonored, and like the gift of my intimacy is just to feel like it's just another person. And that's sort of how I feel. And I'm not going to walk away from my feelings and pretend like they're fine because I have this idea of what this relationship could be, has been. It could have been an extremely different thing. Like, as far as I can tell, it's probably a completely different thing for that person. And that's okay. Because this situation has allowed me to get a reality check about what this is, before I get too far down the line and get my heart broken because there was not any clear communication about it. This is nobody's fault. I am so happy that this person ended up telling me, and that I inquired, that I'd had a question about something that sparked their telling me, because who knows if they would have told me otherwise. And they're probably watching this like, I would have, but it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know, because I don't know you. I can never know you. And I want to keep getting to know this person, maybe, but in this light, like, I have so much going on in my life. The last thing I need is to worry about fidelity and about being lied to. I love my friends. I love people who honor me, and I love to respect and honor them. I would never do such a thing to anybody else, and so I don't allow it in my life. So I'm extremely just so freaking grateful for the snakes. And it's funny too, because the last time we hung out, there actually was a dude, and he, like, we were hiking, and we walked right past this snake that had just eaten something. We walked right past it, and this guy was like, "Are you guys seeing this?" And we walked back, and there's a huge snake that's like just eaten something, and we just like looking at it, and I'm like, okay. And at the moment I didn't really realize it was significant, but maybe that was it. Thank you for listening. I have a lot of stories about relationships that other people could definitely learn from. I have a lot of experience with it, and at this point it's like you learn lessons from every single person who you meet, and this lesson continues to unfold, and I'm just grateful for them, even though the pain, it's painful. It's been painful, but that's important. It's important to feel sadness and loss, because then, you know, the vulture comes by and it's like, yum, 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 here you go. I'm gonna, you know, put this back into the soil. I'm gonna use it into my body. I'm going to allow that to nourish my experiences moving forward, so that I know what I want from a person, so that I know what I expect from a person, and so that I always listen to my truth. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know how maybe this was helpful for you, and I really look forward to making more synchronicity videos. All right, thanks so much. I should say that Facebook and Instagram and SoundCloud are now platforms for Ethereal Ecology. I started recording some things, and there's an email newsletter on the website. Like, go check it out, please. Like, if you want more information from all the YouTube, like, blah blah blah, I'm just like talking. If you want to be updated, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now and hang out with this vulture. Peace out.